So this is my B7 RS4 in Sprint Blue. Originally came with silver optics, not black. I'm in the process of changing it to black. So you can see silver grille. I've done this side doors only, still got the gutter to do, and the rear quarter, and obviously the back at some point. So today I'm going to take you through taking off that rear door trim just below the window and replacing it for the black one. All of them are exactly the same. The fronts are slightly more complicated in that the mirror needs to come off as well, but the principle is the same. There's just another bolt inside to take the mirror out as well. So let's crack on. Okay, so a couple of things. This is the door trim which needs to come off first, obviously. The carbon is hiding 3 screws. There's another one up inside here, and then there's 4 clips. One here, one here, one here, one here. Crack them off, and it lifts up. Not a big job. Anybody can do this with the right tools. So just use some trim removal tools to save scratching anything, breaking anything, and then these are just posi drive screws. So let's take that off to start with, and then we'll move on to the next bit. What's worth noting, on the back of these are push clips. They just push into these holes. The last one at the bottom is hooked, so it hooks in and then you push it back. So when you're pulling it out, you need to pull it forwards. 3 screws. A bit of a nightmare to line up, that's all. So then to pop the door trims off, you can just hook this behind, get your hands behind it and give it a yank. So I'm going to hook it behind this side over here because it's easier. And then just give it a pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, those clips are off. And then you can just lift. And don't be scared of this, you do need to be a bit forceful with it. That's it. There you go. So that's the door trim off. Behind the door trim is I'm going to see if I can bring you in for this actually. Let me hang that there. Stay. So behind the door trim is this here, which is the door latch. It just pulls out of there and then unhooks from there. And then I've got aftermarket tweeters, so I need to disconnect those. And then there's a single wire that runs all the electronics in the door back to the window motor, which is this. You see that yellow plug there? So you can just put your finger in there. Release my tweeters. There's one other wire on here which I don't have, but you will have. I'll show you. Which is this one. So the orange one goes into the bottom of the window motor. This one would go into the original factory speakers. That runs the tweeter, so the cable goes down, back up to here to run the tweeter, which I've cut off and connected in, but you'll have that one as well. All cards off. You'll see these are the clips here. Always break when they come off. Occasionally save one. That one's broken. Is it gone? Yeah, that one's broken. That one's okay. So I've always got spares of these just to replace them. Okay, so there are some differences that you will see here with my door card versus everybody else's. So obviously I've got aftermarket speakers and crossovers, which I'll take out in a second. This vapor barrier I have had off before, and this is a bit of an effort to get off if you haven't had it off before, but because I have, it comes out quite easy. It says. It's got like a sticky blue stuff around the edge. Sometimes it comes off easy, sometimes it's a bit of a pig. Just pull the cable back out there. and then just work it back. There we go, and that will reveal it. Now mine's got sound deadening all the way around as well. The inner door skins are sound deadened. Any of the holes in the doors are all deadened as well, just to give the best acoustic effect I can get out of it. So next step, the motor for the windows need to come off. Another 2 plugs in the bottom there, they just pull out again. So you just pull out. Take the 3 out, stick them together, and then this pulls away. Just give it a wiggle. There you go. This is the 3rd one. You see it's got like a rocker clip. Press that button down, and this top piece comes out, but it never comes out. It's just stick a screwdriver behind it. So that's the motor out. I'm going to take the speaker out as well, just to be sure, so I don't do anything silly to it. Right, that's them out. So, next piece is removing the top. So there's several bolts that hold this in. There is one here. There's another one hidden. I think yes, under here. So just pull that. Get your finger behind it and pull it back. It's glued again, so just tease it back. There it is. There's another one there. There's another one under here somewhere. I think it's here actually, it'll come out in a second. So this piece of trim here needs to come off. So you, again, just get your plastic trim tool. Where is it? In there. This has got one popper that holds it on, nothing else. So I'm just being careful of my windows because they're aftermarket tints and they'll scratch. Just get behind it. There's a popper about there. There it is. So you see there's one little popper, that's all that's holding it on. Pop that out. I think this will move around a bit more. There we go. There's another bolt there. So that one needs to come out. That one needs to come out. That one needs to come out. So that's the top 3. They're holding the top rail in. There's another one, unfortunately, underneath my crossover here, which is holding the mechanism to wind the window up and down. So that needs to come out. There's another one here on the side. Bring that round. There. That needs to come out. And then in the end of the door, there's this plug. Take the plug out. There's one inside there. There's another plug on this end of the door, which is here. That needs to come out. There's one inside there as well. These little rubber caps, although they're not screwed in, they've got 3 plugs that hold the top of the frame, and that will come with the frame. So you just need to get those out. So just tease them back and pull them out the holes. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. In there and in there. They just push in. So just unclip them so they're out. Same the other side. That's them. So you'll see that this rubber trim goes all the way around the edges. It will come when you take the top of the frame out. It's held in with plastic clips. I'm sure if I've got a spare one, I don't think I have. It's held in with plastic clips, so just give it a little pull and you'll see where the clips are. There, so I don't know if you can see that. Just little tiny clips. They hook in, there's a hole in the rubber, they hook up that way, and then they pin into the door. Now, when I did the other doors, I used a tool to unclip these. Most of them broke, which I thought was not a big deal. I'll just go back to Aldi and go and buy some more. There's 23 each side, so you're 46, and they're £1.66 each. So, change of plan. Just hook the rubber out of the clips by pulling up and then pushing back. Pull up, push back, pull up, push back. Just keep going all the way around. rubber trim needs to come off. Now you'll notice quite a lot of this is quite grimy, so I'm going to clean all this before it goes back in again. Not crucial, but I'm fussy. There's quite a bit of give in this rubber, so don't be scared of it. You can give it a good pull. Okay, that's the rubber out. So let's start on doing some of these bolts. So they're all torque bolts, various different sizes. Some smaller than others. That's the big one. That's the big one. That's the small one. Let's just take these out. So you notice I've left the window up. I'm not sure the correct way of doing this, but it seems to make sense if the window's up because it locks into the frame. If you leave it down, when you pull the frame out, the window's banging around. So it kind of made sense just to leave it where it is. So that's what's done. Now, for some reason, these bolts are quite stiff. The others are not, but these ones are. Just this outside edge on all the doors is exactly the same. Right, that's that one. There's another small one somewhere. Let me do that as well whilst I've got this bit on. See. Change the bit over. I think it's this one. Maybe it's this one. So, one inside the hole on the end of the door, where we removed the plug earlier. Now, these are easy enough to get out. There's just a bit of a pig to get out of the hole because they're recessed. And I don't know where they go if you drop them in the door, so probably behind this locking mechanism, which would be another faff, so try not to drop them. What I might do is go and get a magnet just to whip it out. Okay, cup of tea. So I'm going to fish this out with a magnet, hopefully. Yep. And then attack the other end. This side, when it comes out, the bolt comes out far enough from the skin for you to be able to get hold of it, so you don't need a magnet on it, but the other side's a bit tricky. Okay, two big boys up here, bigger hole. Yeah, just change the bit over. So that's a small torque again. Just whip that one out. Okay, so that is all of the bolts out the door. This will probably move now. Yep. So one last thing, this mechanism that the motor fits into comes with it. And they are just these little blue lugs. They've got a clip on the top and a clip on the bottom. Just push the clips in, and then you can push it through the door. Let me just change where I'm sitting. That's it. Ooh. There we go. So just push that through the hole because that's going to come up with it. Right, that should be it. So just lifts out, literally lifts out. Anything that's tangled, untangled. I'll show you that bit in a second. Okay, so top of the door frame off. So the reason I struggled with that, I'll show you quickly, which I'd forgotten, there's a plastic clip. Where are we? Here. That's holding the cable for the winder mechanism, so when you put it back in you just need to clip it back into the clip. That's holding it back in. I suspect you can pop it from this side and it will come complete. Yeah, just pop the clip out. But I'll put it back in on the way back in. Okay, so we're at the stage now where we can take the silver trim off. I spent a long time looking on the internet to see how these trims come out without a great deal of success, to be honest. Everybody else I've read about has either just decided not to do it, or decided wrapping the silver trim's an easier option, or if they fancy being a little bit more thorough, they're rubbing them back and painting them. And a lot of that is to do with the conversations around these trims are pop riveted on and you've got to drill them out and put new rivets in, and actually the reality is none of that's true. They're not riveted at all. They have these little plastic clips. You can get hold of them with a pair of pliers. Just grab hold of the middle section, the round piece. Don't worry about breaking them because we're not putting them back on. And pull them out. Simple as that. Now, the way these are designed is that piece there comes out, this piece stays in the door, and then you pull it out afterwards. So some of these will come out easily, some will be a bit of a faff, but essentially you can just get behind them. Go on to another one. So I'm just giving them a twist and a wiggle at the same time. There you go. So the middles pull out. And once you've got the middles out, you can just grab hold of the other piece, and the other piece comes out in one piece. So it's just a case of working your way along the whole door, moving back a bit. Yep. To get all of these trim plastics out. There you go. Clip comes out, and then pull back in plate as well. This one looks like it's going to be a bit more of a faff. So it's a bit more awkward to get to. So I'm going to just get a screwdriver behind it. There you go. That's the middle out. And then the back will, I get hold of it properly, come out as well. Still fighting with this one. Where are you? There you go. Up and down, that one's gone. So it's just this one. Get hold of it, twist it, put it at the same time. There you go. They come out nice and easy if you twist them in front. And then just pull back off. So they should all be out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these are pushed onto the top of the door. So you just want to put a bit of pressure on the end, just pull them. There you go, and they come off. Simple. So the new trims, let me move you back again. Okay. Let me show you the new trims versus the old trims. So these are the old trims. crappy marked silver, which I'm sick of, quite frankly. I understand you can polish them back, but how long they'll last, I don't know. Have these, so these have this section on the bottom that enables you to push it on the top of the door and rivet with the plastic rivets. The weather trim is already on it, that's all part of it, that's not a separate section, it's all the same section. And then in there's like a little tiny gutter that's held together with, I'm guessing, like a steel spring of some description that you just slot onto the top of this door to hold it all into place. The new ones, A, are in black rubber so they can't mark, and B, don't have that lip down the bottom where you rivet it. They've just got the pressure point at the top, so you literally just push these on. And I will show you. In fact, before I do that, I'm just going to clean the top of that door because there's loads of muck underneath where the trim. Plastic trim. They line up with the ends of the doors, so no need to worry about have I got them in the right place. Make sure that's in line with the door. Push it down. Make sure that in looks good as well. Push it down, and then just push them into place. Couldn't be easier. So that's the back door trim on. Now theoretically, all you're doing is putting them back together again in reverse order, which I will show you. I'm just going to spend a bit of time cleaning that window because the bottom of the window tends to get a bit grubby because it's inside the door and never comes out. So I'm going to clean the window and then I will be back. Okay, so just put the door back together again. This is the next section. Reverse order. Stick it straight back in the top, jostle it around to get it into position. Make sure you're clearing everything inside here. You take this weather seal back, you can see the runner come down the middle here, so you can see that one. Making sure I'm clearing all this up here. Remember to clip the window winder cable back into that clip, otherwise it's pretty straightforward. The only thing I found on the last one is there's a piece of foam on the back of the window that gets caught here, so just make sure that you tease that round and put it in the right place. Otherwise, straightforward. Just drop it down, be careful not to break the new brand new rubbers you've just put on. It gets caught on the back of this window mechanism. There it goes. Need to clear that. That drops in, and there's little rubber caps on the end, make sure they go down this way. Wiggle, something's caught somewhere. You feel it, you come around here. It's this piece here, so let's pull that forwards. I'm suspecting it will drop down. Oh, I can see it. This piece here is sitting on the cross member at the bottom in the protection system of the door, so just drop that forward, there you go. Okay, so just drop that in. Just drop it in carefully for now, just to make sure that your holes line up. The rubbers are all clear from where they should be. That needs to be down there. That falls in there. That lines up there. Don't worry about these bits of foam, we'll do those afterwards. We'll get that clip in in a second once we're happy. I just want to check the other side of the door to make sure the weather seal's all sitting where it should be and it's not all folded up. Yeah, so this is this piece I was talking about, I'll show you. Same thing on this one. So you can see it just sits there. So I'm just going to pull the door up, fold that bit of rubber back down again, and then put it back into place. Just pull it up, push the rubber, that's it, push the rubber back down. And it falls in. Simple. So clip that cable back in, which you can do from here, like that. Pull that out of the way. I'm just going to go around and hand fit all the bolts. Now, something worth noting: these big silver bolts that go in there and there are self-centering. So make sure you put those ones in first and tighten them up first, because they'll hold the door into the right place. I'm not going to tighten any of them up at the moment, I'm just going to put them in. That's that one in. These are the two ends, which are a pain in the backside to get in. Actually, they're not a pain, they're just awkward to get in that silly little hole. That's that one in. Let's do the other one. In. Sticky glue one goes underneath here. This little one that goes down here and catches this, so just pull that over till the hole's lined up. One more, where's the other one go? That's in, that's in, that's in, that's in, that's in. That doesn't have one. Ah, end of the door. This one here. There we go. So that is all of the bowls, yes, all of them. So I'm just going to go around and do them up now, starting with the silver ones because they're self-centering. Super. I do the ends, it's the same fork bit. Just one paint like this, flip this around. That one, change the bit. This one is a slightly smaller one. That's that one in, and then the other one is a large one. Okay, that's the door mechanism back in. This little feather hooks under there and goes to there. Just make sure it's all seated properly. Just sits back in there, so that's fine. That black plastic corner trim can go back on. Now, on the bottom of the black plastic trim, it's got a little hook thing here. That goes over the top of the door frame. You'll see it when you do it. Just want to make sure it's in the right place. Just come right back. You can see the popper, it's there. That's it, it's in. Okay, so I'm going to put the sound deadening back in, the vapour barrier back on. These two bungs need to go back in the ends. This one. within the motor. So let's do that whilst we're here. So you need to get this piece back in again. You can just put your hand up the speaker hole, drag the piece over to where it should be, and then get a push from the other side. That's it, and it locks it in. And then when your motor goes back in, it pulls it back through. Okay. So I am going to do the sound deadening back into place. I need to go around and do this rubber trim, which is the reverse of what we did before. Hook them back on and all the way around, just keep putting them back into the hole so they're in the right place. So I'm going to crack all of that now. So door back on, click this in, put this in, orange plug to go back in there. Before you do any of that, I'll always check the back of these doors. So one clip's intact, one clip's intact. That one's not, that one's not. Somewhere I have got a bag of clips. Let me go and find them. So just hook them in before you start. Goes up in there, that one goes up in there. There should be one there and one there as well, just make sure they're in place. So this wire in the back of the window regulator, that's for the tweeter, which I'm not using, but you will be. Normally it plugs into the top of the speaker, and then connect my tweeters up when we're away. So, offer it up. I'm going to do tweeters first because it's the longest cable, gives me loads of flexibility. And we're going to do this orange plug, which is much easier this way round. Just move these out of the way a minute. That's that in. And then door clip, so just hook it into the mechanism as a whole. Hook it in and then clip it to the door. That's it, we're in. Just tidy some of these wires up so they're in place. Okay, and then to go to the front first because it's curved. That's it. You'll see when they're in because they line up there, and that one just pops in. Same with that side. So then you can just lean on the door, hit those two, that's them in. 3 screws across the top for the to hold the top of the door frame in underneath the carbon. That's got it. Pain in the backside, that one. And then carbon goes back in, start with the back edge, put it in that slot, make sure it slides back. You can see over the top if the holes line up or not. If they don't, just push it back a bit more. That's it. Done. You might want to reset your windows because the mechanism goes wrong. To do that, turn the ignition on, start the car up, pull the window right the way up and hold it, then press it down, it should go all the way down, pull it up and it should go all the way up on its way, on its own. I'll do that now quickly. That's it, sorted. Door back together, no bits left over. Two black door trims.